Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. I'm glad to have you guys here. Now, today is Friday, June 17th, 2019. And you know what? Let's get the chart started right here. And let's talk about what's going on. First off, you guys probably know this guy right here. It's Peter Schiff, and he's one of the guys that's always talked a lot of talk about. He hates Bitcoin. He is one of the renowned Bitcoin haters. But out there, as far as analysis of the economy, I'm in agreement with most of the things that Peter Schiff says, and he's on top of it. He before 2008, before the big subprime real estate crisis in the United States, he was one of the only guys out there that was actually predicting this ahead of time. He saw it coming, right? And he sees this potential crisis we have coming now ahead of time, too. But it always made me wonder, because he's an extremely intelligent man, it always made me wonder about him and Bitcoin while he's so vehement against Bitcoin and everything, and he's so positive for gold, and gold and Bitcoin share aspects. In fact, on some of the shows that he's done, he's actually compared gold to Bitcoin and a lot of the aspects that Bitcoin and gold share. But at the end, he'll say, well, Bitcoin has no value, and his argument. But his argument wasn't really holding water to me. I was suspicious about it. I was saying, this guy, him and Bitcoin. Well, there's other Bitcoin haters out there. Let's take a look at the big ones, Bitcoin haters, is Jamie Dimon. I'm sure all you've heard of Jamie Dimon. He's the big chief of J.P. Morgan Bank, one of the biggest banks in the United States of America, And he's the boss, So he said Bitcoin is a fraud. But what does he do? It says just recently, Bitcoin.com reported that J.P. Morgan executive Jamie Dimon called Bitcoin a fraud and claimed he would fire any employee from his firm who traded in the digital currency for being stupid. Now it seems that J.P. Morgan has been caught red-handed, purchasing a bunch of XBT shares, otherwise known as exchange-traded notes that track the price of Bitcoin. So J.P. Morgan, they downplay Bitcoin, but on the other side of that coin, they're holding Bitcoin. They're purchasing it, And so this is kind of like a dichotomy here where you got these guys who are talking the talk and saying Bitcoin's no good, but on the other side of the coin, they're very interested in it, and some of them are working with it and everything else behind the scenes. Well, I come across something interesting about Peter Schiff. Now, we know that J.P. Morgan Bank, they talk about Bitcoin, they say how awful it is, and then they run out and buy it. They buy the dip. J.P. Morgan buys the dip on Bitcoin, Well, so their talk isn't matching what they're actually doing. You got to watch these guys. Now, I come across something very interesting about Peter Schiff, yesterday. And I always sitting there thinking to myself, he talks an awful lot of talk about Bitcoin. I was watching him other times, and I was saying to myself, he talks an awful lot of bad talk about Bitcoin and everything else, but can he see that Bitcoin price is surging? And is he really going to be so stubborn that he's actually going to miss out on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity when you can... I remember we was talking bad about Bitcoin when Bitcoin was like $150, and then it went up to $20,000. Do you really mean he would miss out on that just because he has feelings that the Bitcoin is not all it should be? If he has these negative thoughts about it and stuff, would he really be missing out? These guys, they don't miss out. They've got a lot of money. They got a lot of money because they don't miss out. They're open-minded. They see opportunities. So let's see what I saw the other day. Let's me stop the recording here, and you can listen to what. Now, this is a friend, evidently, of Peter Schiff's, talking about Peter Schiff. Okay, let's listen to it right
Well,
here.
I tell you, after the debate, and Peter and I go way back, and we've traveled in Brazil together. He's hilarious. We're fun. We always had dinner together. I love him, and we're good buddies and that sort of thing. And then after the debate, he's coming up to me going, "Hey, now listen, I've got Bitcoin Cash, I've got Ether. What do you think about the Monero? You think that's a good and I'm like, wait, you want me to advise you? He goes, oh yeah, Mega, I got my Jax wallet. I'm just like, just like getting it wherever. So I don't know what's real and what's not, right?
So we can see they talk one thing and they do another. Anyway, here's the thing. Today we got a market cap of $255.2 billion. Now, you know what? I'm going to refresh the page right now. 254,871. It's kind of go a little bit up, a little bit down, a little bit up, in around $250 billion market cap. And so what we're actually seeing is Bitcoin is holding its own, just slightly under the highs from the last time it went up. This big rise in price, it got all of us excited, and now it's leveled off, it come down a little bit, and now it's holding this price range, and it's going along sideways. I predicted 2 to 3 months back when it first crested, back when we first went up to this high price of almost $9,000, Now we've settled back down a little bit. We've had a little bit of a correction, but now what's happening is we're in that sideways period where I predicted it was 2 or 3 months. But we're already a couple weeks into it, So now we can see it expanding out for a couple more months, and then some new fresh money actually coming into this space. I believe that they're going to start to accumulate, and this is going to intensify. The higher the price goes, the more accumulation is going to start to occur. But at a certain point, then they start thinking different. And that point is when it passes its old high of $20,000. Once it passes its old high of $20,000, thinking is going to change. The price is going to continue to move upwards, but there's going to be a lot of profit taking. And people thinking, well, it'll never go any higher than this and so on, and it's going to slow off the rise once it passes 20,000. But I believe it's going to continue to rise once it passes 20,000, but albeit slower. It's going to be moving into new fresh territory, setting new high prices for itself, and there's going to be an awful lot of excitement once it passes $20,000. That old mark. It's probably going to go up and test that old mark of 20,000 and fall back a little bit and then go up and test it again several times. So we're in for a process that's going to take quite a little bit of time. I'm expecting it to last right through this Christmas. In fact, around Christmas time, I'm expecting Bitcoin to be probably shooting past the $20,000 mark into new fresh territory into the new year. And for the first quarter of the new year, I expect it to be the hot commodity out there. It's probably going to peak sometime about a year from now. It's probably going to peak in price, and it's going to be in one heck of a big bubble. That's where it's going to be. It's going to be in a bubble. It's going to be in a massive bubble, and bigger than the 20,000 bubble, considerably bigger. It's hard to put a tag on it, whether it'll make 100,000 or whatever those prices. It can actually make those prices. We're going to have to wait and see. Anyway, listen, thank you guys for listening to the show, and we'll catch you again very, very soon with another episode of Bitcoin. Right now, we're in a period where things are a little bit slow for Bitcoin, and so kind of drifting along. But the excitement's going to start coming, I think, in about 2 or 3 months from now when the price starts to rise up again, But this is going to be a wild ride that we're on right now. So listen, thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up, and we'll catch you guys in the next show. Bye-bye for now.